Today we're going to be looking at those double-digit round wide receivers. We're going to be looking at those cheap wide receivers who are falling in drafts, those guys with upside, those steady eddies who can give you some production to start off the season. We're going to look at those wide receivers right now. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. Tap it with the finger on your phone. Click it with the mouse on the computer because we're looking at these players every day. We're going over draft strategies. We're going over the values, the advanced metrics in season, the waiver wire every day. Even after the waiver wire has ran, we're still looking at it just in case you got to pick somebody up. It's helping you set your lineups, everything else in between every single day. Click that button. Stop missing out. Our first cheap wide receiver we're looking at today is Josh Palmer. And he's fallen in ADP right now. I'm catching him in double-digit rounds in a couple of my drafts over the last few days. He's going to go cheaper than round 9. That's why we're talking about him today. And quite frankly, I haven't talked about him in a bit. But Ladd McConkey's a little bit more expensive. He's the rookie that everybody's going after in this offense. Quentin Johnston's starting to get a little bit quiet here in training camp and preseason. Josh Palmer is the stable vet. Should be getting targets, should be getting opportunity. Not the sexiest, not the flashiest, but should get you a solid target share, should get you some opportunity on the field. Probably about 10 points a game. And we're not excited about that, but you're catching him at like wide receiver 55 or so. So again, if you're looking for a steady Eddie, a player like this, on the back end of your wide receiver depth chart, Josh Palmer could be for you. Darnell Mooney, wide receiver 68 off the board. He is cheap. The wide receiver 2 on the Falcons, maybe like the third option in the passing offense, maybe even fourth, but he's going to have some upside moments because Kirk Cousins is going to push it downfield. He's going to be running a lot of routes, probably going to have an 85+% route participation rate on the other side of Drake London. He's connecting on the field in training camp. He's not going to be steady, but he is going to have some boom weeks here and there. London and Pitts should be getting all the opportunity along with Bijan Robinson, but there's going to be room for him getting some targets in this offense and for him to explode from time to time, and a good guy to play the matchups with. A.D. Mitchell, if you're looking for a rookie to shoot for upside, if you're looking for that lottery ticket, but you want to go a little cheaper compared to the other rookie wide receivers, A.D. Mitchell is your guy. He's going to be on the field. He's going to be a starter. He's going to be on the outside. They're going to use him in the slot a little bit. He's got 4.3 speed. He's going to stretch the field. If he starts getting targets and all he has to do is bring in a few of those deep targets, he's going to give you some splash weeks. Of course, we got Michael Pittman. Of course, we got Josh Downs. Of course, we got Jonathan Taylor. And of course, they're going to run the ball a bit, slowing the clock down a bit. But still, he is a guy that can give you a return on investment if he hits to his upside and he starts reeling in some of those deep balls. Could be a guy that's very spiky for you. Maybe some down games, then all of a sudden just starts popping off for a game or two. More down games, then starts popping off for a game or two. Round 11 draft capital, wide receiver 60 range. Can't do much worse. Jahan Dotson going to be in the slot for the Commanders. We got to see if he's going to be outside a little bit more in wide receiver 2 sets. But expect him to get targeted in this offense. His rookie season showed a lot of promise. Last year, the targets were very distributed among the wide receivers. Curtis Samuel's gone. He could be getting more opportunity this year. Round 12 draft capital. So if he doesn't hit or you don't like what you're getting, you can send him on his way. Could be a steady Eddie with some upside for you. Brandon Cooks is another steady Eddie we're looking at because Michael Gallup's gone. The ball's got to go somewhere, and he got some opportunity last year. 13.8% target share last year. That should ramp up probably to around 15 to 18%. Air yards should be ramping up per game, and the ADOT, if it stays that way, the air yards per game is definitely ramping up. He's getting targets downfield. Expect him to get around 10 points per game fantasy-wise, which isn't great, but you're drafting him around wide receiver 60 range. What are you expecting? But he's going to give you a steady trend line. Of course, like you're seeing down there, some down games, but also a couple up games as well. Expect a steady trend line, about 10 points a game, some up games, some down games. But if you want a steady Eddie on the cheap, round 10, round 11, round 12 draft capital, Brandon Cooks could be your guy. Davian Wix has some upside in this offense. He's very explosive. He's connecting with Love. This offense has a lot of good young talent at wide receiver. They could tap into this upside. Davian Wix is a big play machine, can get targets downfield. He was lighting it up in the back end of the season last year, been doing it in preseason and training camp, and a good dart throw in double-digit rounds. Gabe Davis is an upside dandy. He's got the Will Fuller effect like we talk about a lot, where he can give you those boom weeks with a lot of down weeks in between. But still, at round 12 draft capital, paired with Trevor Lawrence, who wants to push the ball downfield, you could be catching some spike performances per game. If you're just looking at the average, it ain't going to be too fun. But really, you're just chasing spike weeks and playing matchups. Xavier Legette, upside play, lottery ticket dandy, double-digit rounds, 4.3 speed. Could be on the field more than expected. He was nicked up in training camp. So really, there's a lot of unknown here. But we got the draft capital, we got the size-adjusted athleticism, and if it's not materializing, you can always return him to the waiver wire. Jeudy should be getting targets in this offense. How much, we don't know, but should be pushing a 20% target share, probably somewhere between 17 to 20, maybe right around 20 to 21%. With Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore there. Watson's got to spread the ball out. David Njoku, I pray he gets more targets. I love him a lot. But around 11 draft capital, a good separator, could be getting some good volume. Probably a wide receiver you want to play the matchups with. Probably going to be steady. Probably around 11, 12, 10-ish points per game. Ricky Pearsall, upside play. Wide receivers get hurt. Debo misses some time every year, so he's going to be on the field. He's a very good route runner. He's going to have some upside in this offense. Could be in there in 3 wide receiver sets. First round pick. They drafted him for a reason. Brandon Ayuk's going to be back, but if something happens in this offense, he's a play away from being the next guy. Adam Thielen. He's a steady Eddie on the cheap. I don't expect him to give you the production he gave you in the start of the season last year, but maybe something on the back end there. Maybe around 10, 11, 12 points per game range, especially with him being consistent with Bryce Young. Deontay Johnson's going to zap those targets, so expect the target share to ramp down to around probably 18% or so, but he's still going to get some opportunity in this offense. He's a safer play than Xavier Legette, but he's not going to win your league. He's just not going to do that. But he's a guy that you can put in your lineup every so often, close your eyes and pray for the best, because he is going to get opportunity. He is going to get targets. But the 8.4 targets per game, expect that to be around 5 to 6 with Deontay Johnson there. Rashid Shaheed, upside play, upside dandy. Michael Thomas is gone. Might be getting more deep targets. Double-digit draft capital here, but will get you spike weeks, getting a 14.5 ADOT average depth of target. Those deep targets going downfield will cause some splash plays for him, so you can always play the matchups, close your eyes, and see if you can bring in some deep balls. Those are 12 upside wide receivers that we're looking at for fantasy football right now. Let me know in the comments who you're trying to get in the back end of your drafts. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.